I'm 14, I'm in the 8th grade, and my mother died.
I'm 10 years old. I'm going into the 5th grade, and my dad is the one who died. Whenever I was 11, in August 16th, my father had passed away. He had died from diabetes.
I'm 14. I'm going to La Cueva High School. I play the flute. I lost my mom, which is why I came to the grief center.
I don't like people to know my situation because when they do, they feel sorry for me, and I don't like that.
And we sent her to a nursing home, even though she was like 30 or so at the time. And she died there like a week later.
They say that the grief center is for children, but adults end up talking too.
The goal of the Children's Grief Center, the mission, is to provide a safe and understanding environment so that at the Grief Center we know how to talk about death.
This is for my grandma.
It's not a stigma here. Everyone is here for the same reason.
I think it's lighten Dylan's load. And that's the most important thing to me, is that he be able to come up through all of this and come out the other end a stable human being.
I just come to the Children's Grief Center, and that makes everything all right. I mean, I get to talk to people, and I'm in a room with where I know it's safe, where I know that other kids have the same things happening in their lives too.
Some children decide that they're going to ignore their feelings. They're not going to pay attention to feelings. They'll just block them out in order not to feel the pain.
Empty, like something tore my heart out or something, like it's really sad.
Some children decide not to get close to someone. They don't want to get close to someone or love someone again because they may be abandoned.
Immediately, it was a hesitation like, Mom, you're lying. You can't be telling the truth. There's no way that this really happened. And probably about an hour into it, it was complete desperation. Very sad, extremely distraught. Couldn't believe it happened. More in anger. It was like every emotion that you could ever feel immediately happened.
When there's a death in the family, it shatters a child's world. It changes their worldview. Bad things happen, and they happen suddenly and tragically. They feel very vulnerable, frightened, helpless, and anything that gives them some sense of control over their life or over the world is helpful to them.
Isaac, my oldest son, the one that thought he needed to take over the family, has calmed back down and has again become a child and not tried to take over that manly role and making sure that the family's protected.
And it sent me home with a paper about it, and so I was really happy to give it to my mom, and was just like, you know, this is what it is, and you know, I think we should start going. So we started to come, and it was just a lot better for both me and my brother. They would be talking about how there's other people there that happens to you, and other things that you can do to talk about it, and that you can feel safe going there.
In September 2005, I came here with my son. My wife Gabriella died on our 9th wedding anniversary in 2005.
It was hard. I mean, we thought she was going to live for a while longer, and she just sort of died, and it wasn't really expected.
We divide the children up by age so that they can be with others who are at roughly the same developmental stage that they are. We offer the services on the same night so that if a family has children that range across an age span, they only have to get organized to come once. We offer dinner every night that we have groups so that it's just one less thing that the families have to contend with. But it's also a way for families to share the meal together and start talking with one another and starting to understand that they're not alone in their journey. On the night they're here, we do lots of different things. We sometimes play games, and the games are often related to the death. So the M&M game, for example, was developed by the kids at the Dougy Center in Portland, Oregon. They made up the questions, and they made up the idea that you can shake M&Ms out of a jar when you ask a question and talk about it. So there are ways to commemorate the person who has died. We do arts and crafts activities, lots of expressive activities for kids that are finding it difficult to talk about either their feelings or the person who died. We have alternatives for those kids. Sometimes kids just need to expend a lot of physical energy, and we then have the playground or the gym for the kids to shoot baskets or run or climb and try and get some of that out too. So there are a variety of things that we do. In the adult groups, it's primarily talking. But for children, talking is not their first and most comfortable mode of processing emotional experiences. So we do other things with the kids.
My wife Debbie and I got started with the Children's Grief Center in 2001, right at the very beginning. Our family had been helped by an organization like this in Fort Worth, Texas, in 1993. Our 16-year-old son died. We knew what it was like, and we knew that experience at the Warm Place had been helpful to us individually as the adults, but also to our daughters. So when we heard that there was something in Albuquerque that was going to get started along those lines, we wanted to be part of that.
People can help in a number of different ways. We need participation on the board of directors. We need volunteer facilitators. We need people to just send money to the Grief Center, to donate. The Grief Center is a 501c3, so it can be designated on a United Way contribution, and all donations are tax deductible.
And he was telling my mom that he would only make it until Christmas, but he didn't make it to Christmas. He made it to like Thanksgiving. He just died in his sleep. He wasn't feeling well. He just couldn't really control his body, so he just died.
Just eats away at me every day, you know. Just knowing that I don't have a mother no more is just hard.